of Indigenous Works. I'm speaking to you today from Treaty 6 in the Métis homeland of Saskatchewan in really cold Saskatoon, Saskatchewan today, minus 40 degrees. And I'm really pleased to have with me Juliana Arbelaez, who's the project coordinator at Magnet, and we'll be doing this presentation to introduce you to a workplace integrated learning opportunity for First Nations, Métis, Inuit students. So let's look at the next slide, today's presentation. What we're going to do is a Magnet and ourselves, a Magnet is a partnership initiative at Ryerson with Indigenous Works. We're going to provide an overview. We're going to talk about the student workplace program, what it is. We're going to then give you the steps, the easy steps it takes to get involved and get enrolled in this program, whether you currently have students or you'd like to get new students, and then we'll open up to question and answer. So next slide about us. For those of you that don't know, we were formed in 1998. Today, we're an ISO certified Indigenous organization. We actually were one of the recommendations in the Royal Commission report on Aboriginal people back in 1996. And there was 434 recommendations in that report, and we're still around to this day. We've worked in fact, the first thing I did in 1999, Amy, is I went to the, it was called the Nunavut Conversation. 1999 was the year Nunavut was formed, folks. And it was one of the first places I went as a president and CEO. And the other place I went in Eastern Canada was member 2. So I've got good roots to Inuit and to the Mi'kmaq people back in 1999. Our focus has been on Indigenous employment and workplace inclusion, and continues to be that focus today. And we're just really pleased with this partnership. Let me tell you about this partnership on the next slide. That what we've done here is we've looked at how to use this social innovation platform for both the employers and job seekers. We want to empower Indigenous-owned businesses to grow as well. So not just mainstream companies, but we really wanted Indigenous economic development corporations, Indigenous community organizations, and indeed Indigenous businesses to look at how they can take advantage and create opportunities for Indigenous students for these, what we call these workplace integrated learning opportunities. There's some great job matching technology that Juliana is going to share with you, and we'll talk about some of the funding opportunities. So that's the really neat part, is there is these amazing subsidies up to $7,500. Let me tell you a bit more of those on the next slide. The Student Workplace Program provides a subsidy up to $7,500 per student per term, so that you can get up to 75% of the total wages paid to that student. It's applicable to any domestic Canadian student. You're placing them in what we call a WIL, a work integrated learning opportunity. These can include a range of things, and I'm going to explain these because this is really cool, folks. There's like 9 types of experiences. So if you have a student, you can almost craft an experience for them at your workplace. And it's available for this winter right now. And this could be extended through the into the spring, further and further. It just depends on what the federal government does with the program, and we'll keep you apprised of that. And the other thing is this: if you have a student that started working for you in the fall and you have not accessed any support programs, you can actually make this program retroactive and get subsidies going back as far as October. So let me tell you about, I said there's different types of workplace integrated learning. You can take a student and you can create a work integrated experience around applied research, cooperative education. It could be a practical or a clinical placement. You could call it a field placement or internship. It could be categorized as service learning or work experience, entrepreneurship, or even an apprenticeship opportunity to get their credentials. So like I said, there's the flexibility. What I like is the flexibility to design for you, as an employer, these types of experiences that could benefit both you as well as the student. So that's the introduction. That's what you're going to learn. I'm going to turn it to Juliana, who's going to now take you through the steps to apply for the workplace integrated learning. And it's pretty straightforward. Juliana, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and hello everyone, and welcome, and thank you for joining us today. So I'm gonna there's going to be two parts of my presentation right now. I'm going to show you how to create your account onto the Magnet platform. And once you're on the Magnet platform, you're going to have a lot of features that you're going to be able to use, not only to access this funding that Kelly was telling us about, but also to use it as your own job matching platform. So if you're ever looking for new talent, Indigenous workers, Indigenous job seekers, you're going to be able to post jobs onto the platform. So the first part is going to be a little bit about the platform itself, how to create an account. And the second part is going to be actually how to apply for the SWIP funding. So I'm going to go ahead and please let me know if you're seeing this page with the Indigenous Works logo. Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So this is where you're going to go. You're going to see Indigenous Works. This is the Magnet platform, but this is our partnership with Indigenous Works. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the instructions on how to create your account. So for employers, you have all the steps that you have to follow, but I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm just going to go onto a different platform, which is our training platform, so that I can show you all the demo. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go on, and we can see this also on the Indigenous Works platform. You're going to click on the create account, and you're going to select an option to create the account as either an employer, a job seeker, or recruiting agency. So I'm going to go back to my training platform to show you this. I'm going to create an account as an employer. And it's going to be very simple. I'm going to only create or fill out the form here with all the steps. So I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, software. Let's say my name is Jim. My last name is Gary. And I am going to select my email. And let's confirm. Oh, okay, let's do this very quickly. We're going to sign up. Oh, Peter, there you go. We're going to sign up and we're going to receive an email, a welcome email, so we can activate our account. It's that simple. Just like that, you can get onto Magnet, onto the Indigenous Works platform, and you're going to see how to take advantage of all of the features that we offer. So we're going to open our email, and we're going to see our welcome email. So in this case, you're going to see the Magnet logo, but you're also going to see the Indigenous Works logo. And we're going to activate our account. And just like that, you're going to see all of your information. You can fill out the required fields. So you can either select monolingual or bilingual if you want your profile to be in both English and French, but please note that you'll have to have all of your contact in French if you want it to be in French as well. So we can select our website. Email. And we can find our address here. Now it's going to ask us for accessibility features. So anything that you might have at your organization, you can select it here. You can select more than one. So we can select accessible facilities, flexible work hours. And please note that if you're ever going to use this, and we hope that you do, use this platform to search for job seekers and for talent, this is what your job seekers are going to see, and this is what's going to make your organization more attractive to them. And then we're going to select our organization type and the number of employees. We're going to finish, and this is going to finish creating our profile. So this is our home screen. This is what you're going to see in your platform. So I'm just going to go up here onto this logo, and you're going to see the name of the company, your email, and then you're going to see three options: organizational profile, settings, and logout. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on organization profile. And this is very important, guys, because this is what your job seekers are going to see about your organization. This is what's going to make your organization very attractive to them. So we can click on the pencil here and edit the information. If anything changes, you can definitely change the information. And let's pick a logo that your job seekers are going to see. And let's click on this second pencil here, and we're going to finish our profile. So what is the organization description? So this is very important because, like I said, your job seekers are going to see this information, and this is what is going to inform them about your organization. So let's just enter some information here. Sorry, guys, there's no idea why it's not working. But like I said, some of these fields are mandatory, some of them are not. And the reason why we ask for industries is we have a lot of communities. So if you're ever going to be matched with a community, or for example, we have the Export Business Portal, which is a hub portal to join and give information to organizations about exporting. So the industry's codes are going to be very important. If I, and like I said, this is a training environment, so I don't know why it's not working right now. I'll try again, but it doesn't seem like it's working. But you'll see on your live environment when you sign up for the platform on the Indigenous Works website, it's gonna work perfectly. So sorry that I couldn't show you guys, but yeah. So again, we'll see the accessibility features. You can add more if you want, or you can delete them, and you can add the organization funding date as well. So we're gonna go ahead and save. And I don't know if you've seen when you look for a job on Indeed or LinkedIn, you have this type of information about the organization, what are the features of the organization. And so this is very similar to that. And one of the reasons why this platform is different is because of the communities that I briefly mentioned before. We're gonna go here to the left side, and we're gonna see some communities. And you're going to have access to everything and all of the initiatives that Magnet is currently working towards, and also all the information about what Indigenous Works is doing. So you're going to have a lot of communities down here. You're going to be receiving information about this. And one of the reasons why this is very important is because you're going to receive information about potential funding opportunities. So you'll find the information about the SWIP program that we're going to be talking about in the second part of this presentation. One last thing that I want to show you guys is when you click on support, you're going to be taken to a different tab, and you're going to be able to access the frequently asked questions. You're going to have a live chat down here, and you can also submit a request. But since you're gonna be part of the Indigenous Works community, please do let us know. Do Kelly, Subhash, and myself know if there's something not working, something that you would like to see different, or if you have any questions. So I'm just gonna go back to my training environment, and I'm going to go back to the home screen. And these are the messages that I mentioned before. These are the messages from Magnet, from Indigenous Works that you're going to be receiving. So if you want to know what's going on, what's happening, how can we help you, you're going to see a lot of messages right here on your home screen. And the last thing that I'm going to show you right before we go on to our SWIP application is when we go up here to our app drawer, you're going to be able to see the job postings. And I'm not going to go too much into that, but it is a feature that you'll be able to use to, like I said, search for talent for your own organization. And it's very simple and very straightforward. We can do another session for this if you want, or if you want to start using it, you can do so. The good thing about this is that it's free and you can start using it right away. So the one thing that I will mention about the job postings is that you will be able to target communities or groups like visible minorities, First Nations, Indigenous peoples, etc., women. So any type of communities that you want to target, you can do so. Obviously, you're gonna have the possibility to search for talent according to their education, according to their licenses, training, etc. So this is very important because it's gonna match. It has to match in technology. It'll invite people to apply. So job seekers actually do get job invitations for anything that is applicable to them. So it's a very great tool. Please do let us know if you want to start using it, if you need a demo to start using it, or if you start using it and you have any question, please do let us know. But I'm going to jump right to the SWIP program, to the Student Placement Program. So here on our home screen, we have this carousel of a lot of information that we can access. And the first one that we're going to see, and the first one that you will see on your platform, will be the Student Work Placement Program. And you'll have this Apply Now button. So I'm just going to click on that button, and it's going to take us to the SWIP, to the SWIP website. And I'm sorry, I already have an account and it's taking me to that account. I want to show you. Sorry about this, guys. So what that button is going to do is it's going to take us right directly to the application. And like I said, I already have an account, so it takes me to my account. But I want to show you that you can apply for the fall 2020 term or the winter 2021 term. And this is what Kelly was telling us about, how it can be retroactive, because this program is actually a reimbursement. It's not a grant. So what's going to happen is you're going to pay the student's going to finish their placement. And once everything's done, you will receive the 75% of the placement. So please do keep that in mind, because it is, you will need to pay for the student's wage beforehand. And one of the documents that we do ask for is the first and the last pay stub of the student. So we do need to show that we actually paid the student, that the placement took place, etc. So what I will do now is I'm going to go back to our presentation, and I'm going to take you through the steps of the application. The application does have 5 steps or 5 parts. Please do not get overwhelmed by this. It is actually very simple. And the good thing that we have right now is that through this partnership of Indigenous Works and Magnet, you'll have all of our support during this application. So there are 5 parts, but we'll help you through them. If you have a question, which I'm sure you will, we'll help you through each step of the application. So let me just bring my presentation again. Please let me know if you guys see it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there are 5 parts, like I said, and this is what you're gonna see on your screen once you start your application. So the first part has 3 different steps. It's going to ask you to fill out a form. It's going to ask you to give information about your organization and placement information. And the good thing is that if you have any doubts or any questions about your eligibility, which we talked about last time, but I'll quickly mention it right now. So eligibility for employers, you need to be a Canadian registered business or non-for-profit, and you the funding, this is federal funding, so they're going to fund for 75% of the placement or the wages, and the other 25% of the wage cannot be from another federal program. That's the only funding constraint that we have. But if you receive that other 25% from municipal or territorial government, that's municipal, provincial, territorial government, that is fine. The other eligibility criteria is for the student. The students need to be domestic students, and that's pretty much it. So we'll talk about, obviously you'll have a lot of questions about eligibility. We'll talk about those. So what I'm gonna say for this first part is that if you have any questions about or doubts about your eligibility, is that right after you submit this first part, it's gonna go on a review process, and the SWIP team is gonna let you know if there's anything that is not working or anything about the placement information that's not correct. So you won't have to go through the whole process before finding out if there's something wrong with the application. Each part will have a review process. But like I said, if you have any doubts or questions before or during the application, we'll be here for you. I'm actually one of the persons who does the reviews for this. So I hope that I can have lots of answers for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the second part. So the second part is the details of the student. And here I just wanna let you know that the only thing that you provide about the student is their email and their name. Everything else is going to be filled out by the student themselves. So the student is going to fill out the form because we need to know if that placement actually took place, if this is actually a student, etc. So you're going to verify that this is a domestic student, that this is a Canadian or a permanent resident, and the student is going to show us the proof of enrollment. So what we have to do here as employers is we're going to invite the student, or recommender as we call it on the application. And like I said, we're going to fill out their name and email, and we're going to request a recommendation. That's going to go over to the student, and the student's going to fill out their information, and they're going to provide their proof of enrollment. So I just want to mention, while we talk about the proof of enrollment, is that the enrollment needs to have, name of the school, name of the program, name of the student, but it doesn't necessarily have to say that they're doing a co-op program or an internship program. Like Kelly mentioned, you can create this placement for a student who's not necessarily going to do the placement for credit. This is very important because even though they're not in a co-op program or the school is not requiring them to do an internship, they can still do it, and it's going to still be relevant for their education. So the third part of the application is going to be terms and conditions and supporting documentation. So you're going to upload a signed terms and conditions document, and you're going to fill out a registration form, and you're going to upload some support documents, which are the first pay stub, the last pay stub, and then you're going to fill in a form about COVID-19 questions. And the reason for this is that this funding was created due to the COVID-19 pandemic to help out students and employers. So we're gonna ask you some questions like, Was the placement shortened, or did something happen to the placement due to the pandemic? Was the placement remote? Was the placement, all of these things related to the pandemic. And then the fourth part is going to be a feedback survey. And this is very important, guys, because we do want to know that this was successful. We want to know how this helped employers. And we want to make sure the government knows that this worked, so that we can, again, do it for the fall and the summer terms that are following. So for now, like I said, we're doing this for the fall 2020, so last year, and winter 2021. So we're still not sure about summer and fall, so please do fill out these surveys. They are very important to the application process. And the fifth part is an invoice upload. You're going to upload an invoice for Ryerson University, and you're going to receive your funding. So I know these were a lot of steps. I want to mention a couple of things. Each step and each task is going to have their own instructions. So it's going to be very straightforward. You're going to know which documents you're going to be able to upload, what kind of information you're going to have to include on the invoice, on the pay stub, etc. So it's very guided. We're going to provide you with a guide as well for the application, because I know this is very general. And of course, you're going to have us throughout the whole process. So the second thing that I was going to mention is that for fall applications, so for those of you who hired a student during the fall 2020 term, please start your applications right away. You do have until March 15th, but it is a long process, just because after you upload your invoice, there's up to 45 days that you can receive your reimbursement. So it's going to take a few weeks to do the whole process. It's not at all difficult, but it's going to have many steps. So please let us know when you're ready to apply. We're going to be here. We can help you throughout the whole process. We can do Zoom calls with you. We can do anything that you really need for assistance throughout this process. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you how it works directly with the apply now button, but it's there. You'll see it. So we're gonna go ahead to questions.
Thank you. So folks, thank you, Juliana. Great presentation. Look, we had one hiccup. Who doesn't in today's technology world? But you can see, folks, that there's support here. You can contact us. We have a phone number there. We have a connection right to Juliana, and we can take you and your team through this. Through this. What I want to do is before we open up to questions, we are going to bring the recording to a close. So I just want to finish off. We've got 2 more slides to finish off this deck, and then we'll open up to questions. So go to the next slide, please. When I was in Australia, there was this elder who said to me, "When you stop dreaming, you are lost." So we're all in the dream business. You folks are about creating opportunities for Indigenous youth, First Nations, Métis, Inuit youth. But I also thought of an Inuit teaching, and because I see Amy Tutu, who I don't know, but Amy, I need your help. I'm going to show everybody, folks. These are the 8 Inuit society values and principles, called the IQ principles. And number 7 and number 8, I cannot say it in a Nuktatuk, but number 7 and 8 are this. Number 7 is working together for a common cause. And number 8 is being innovative and resourceful. I think that this work ahead is we are all working together for a common cause. Let's create these opportunities during this environment of COVID, create these for youth opportunities. They are our future workforce. And being innovative and resourceful. I think we've got a very innovative program and strategy here. We've got lots of resources that are going to support you, so we can all work together to make this happen. So on the final slide, we just say a big shout out, a thank you to everybody for joining us today. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you get enrolled, get involved, and create these opportunities together. So Miigwech, hi, thank you very much. So we can now open it up to comments and questions that any of you folks may have.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Randy.
Randy here from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. I'm participating in your webinar. Mostly, my brother's got 2 businesses. He has a food truck that he only runs during the summer. So my question, this program, what Juliana's saying, is it offered through summer? And he also has a construction business which goes all year round. So I think we might be qualifying for part of the winter or fall program on that.
I would definitely through the fall and the winter program. Here's what's going to happen, folks, and where Randy's question is important is that this program has already been extended a few times, right? Ryerson and Magna have been working with the federal government. They've provided more funding for more student opportunities. So it went from January to now this term. So this could get extended again. We don't know. If it does get extended, you'll be the first to know, which means it might go into the spring and into the summer. So then it would qualify for the truck opportunity.
Okay.
So again, we'll communicate with you. We'll keep you guys apprised of extensions that the federal government, and there is an economic stimulus package underway. So we expect there will be extensions.
Yeah.
But great ideas, Randy.
Okay.